This is day 902 of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. This week's Arukh HaShulchan Yomi is sponsored for a schos for a full shlema for Yonas and Ezra ben Chana Feigl. Today we are doing siman Tov Kuf Tzadik Aleph, Sifyud Aleph, to Tov Kuf Tzadik Beis, Sif Zayin. Yud Aleph. Yesh Korim the Tagar, those people who call foul. Mashinagu, the sign Pasukim Shofros, and those people who conclude Shofros, and the custom to conclude Pasukim Shofros with Pasuk, Yom Sim Chaschem, which is Pasuk by Midbar Yud. Shedus Kabar, Rakatzotzos, well, Shofar only mentions trumpets, not a shofar. Avarosh, Haranza Koski Yashem Aminog, the Russian Ran. Right to sustain the minhag. The shame should put the pasuk she needs to go true below shofar. So it's just like the pasuk in which true is mentioned, even though shofar is not mentioned. Hagmod will see by shofar, it's as if the word shofar is mentioned. You can see like it says the truas melech bo. The pasuk by middle of gimel vol psukim shofar, and that counts for one of the psukim of shofars. Gemara. Let's explain. Gemara can the muskar tekiah when it mentions tekiah, got them in this case. Because shofar, it's like with a shofar. Varei can't see with katem. V'atem mishum n'ksi begam chatzos migogara. Just because also chatzos to make it worse. Hey, mashali Yerushalmi, and there seems to be the explicit Yerushalmi. V'lochein ein l'shon minhag, therefore do not deviate from the minhag. You base ein lomar ve'akedas yitzchak l'zaro shel Yaakov hayom brachin diskor. I should put the emphasis in the wrong place. Ein lomar akedas yitzchak l'zaro shel Yaakov. You should not say that the Akedah should be commemorated to the children of Yaakov. He would say to his general, to the seed of Yitzchak, without mentioning Yaakov, have a koymer shel Yaakov. It's as if you say that it's Yaakov kid Roshina, because we expect it's like the Gemara in the Dorim says, "Kib Yitzchak koyel zara." In Yitzchak, you will have children. Avraham Avinu told them, "Breshis Chafa, be Yitzchak in Yitzchak, v'lo kol Yitzchak, not all Yitzchak." L'chein Omer Shel Yaakov. There was somebody says Shel Yaakov Mishaneh Me'abed Shel Avraham, change the formula that Chachamim formulated. Here's when they say the Mishaneh Me'abed. Those who say it's not changing the formula. But to the contrary, but feel royal vari so much as possible. It's appropriate to clarify at the most spot. Clarify as much as possible what you're doubting. Also, when somebody takes a nether to curtail his benefit from the descendants of Yitzchak, he's also to derive benefit from the descendants of Esau. There were those who had the custom to say. Our minute was not to say, hi, by the Dorim, it seems that Esau would be included. The Dorim is different because by the Dorim we follow the way people are accustomed to speak. Yud Gimel, Amr Chazal. Chazal said, "Lo yispal adam yichidus mutzah shalosham b'shalosh shos rishon shalayom." Person should not daven the musaf in the first 3 hours of the day if he is davening on his own. Because in this time Hashem is judging the world. It's a time of potential anger. So we need the merit of the masses to overcome it. And the masses, who the individual would like to tap into, generally daven musaf after 3 hours. The Mishnah Berurah says, for similar reasons, the individual should not blow shofar until 3 hours into the day, because when you blow shofar, it's a time when you may be very likely being put to judgment. So Shacharis he can daven during this time because everybody's on Shacharis, so he's tapping into them. But can't tap in, his musaf can't tap into their Shacharis. Rashi would then compare the Rak B'Shel Musaf. Rashi, it seems that the whole issue is musaf. Shishar Malchus Zichron Shofros Mifkad Dino. So therefore, since he says him, the din visits him. But Shacharis is no issue anyway. Vomer Aleinu. And then you say Musa Aleinu, Kolo, Vashatz Musip, Ochila, actually it was Chazara, we had Ochila, Upshutim, and all sorts of liturgy. Each place according to its minhag. There's the brackets here which we will not understand, and we don't see it inside, so we're going to skip it. Tov Kuf Tzadik Beis, Tfilas Musaf Shel Hashatz V'Seder Atkios. Musaf of the Shlech Tzibur. and the order of blowing. Aleph, v'achar kach machzir hashatz hatfila. After that, the tzibur does chazor hashatz. The token of brachas, you may blow the shofar on the order of the brachas. The Mishnah Berurah adds that in these tkiyos of Tashat, Tarat, the Zokea and the people listening have to stand. And that's what it's called tkiyos of the Umar, tkiyos of standing. But the if you sat down, you'd say anyway. After Shulchan, V'avakat B'dina Torah Einat tkiyos Inyan L'Ha Brachas, even though Raisa, there is no connection between the tkiyos and the brachas. Mitzvah V'ifnei Atzmahu, it's an independent mitzvah. Gamba brachas aim Torah, the brachas are not even the Raisa, the brachas of the Avni. Come nevertheless, Shetinu Chachamei brachas Tiknu Sheti Yitku B'hem. Chachamim linked it too. So when they made the brachas, they made it not going to blow in juxtaposition to the brachas. Like it says, Mishiberach Hachim Yismael Shofar Dogeh. Some of you made a bracha, and then he acquired a shofar, blows. The Gemara time of the Lo Hava Lo Shofar. The reason why he blows later is because he didn't have a shofar. A shofar. If he has a shofar, Aseder Bracha Shamlu. He listens to the tkiyos according to the order of the brachas. B'dafka b'tzibur v'lo b'yachid. It's specifically by the tzibur, not by an individual. The yachid had tokeh kol tkiyos chayv v'spal misva musaf. Individual should blow all the tkiyos and then the musaf. At time nireh, reason seems to be the kemen should go to the Torah litkol shalosh pa'amim. Tkiya trua tkiya, since the Torah decreed to blow 3 times. Tarat, we stomach kivna, we assume it intended. Shabaseder yishin kabo omar chuso. With the first set, you should be makabo. You should accept the yoke of God's kingship. Kamosha tokim lifnei melech, like they blew from the king. That our commemoration should come up before Hashem. You see, like it says, so you should blow the trumpets. And you'll be recalled by Akash Baruch Hu. Hank Siman, so it says, both these about Midbar Yud, so you'll come to go with trumpets, blow the trumpets, and you'll be for a commemoration. Gomer. Pashlish, and the third one is Lashmiel Kol Shofar K'moshe Yom Torah. The third one is to, on Shofros, is to make heard sound shofar like it was by Mount Torah. That will also be in the ultimate gula. Tiknu say that kiyos al brachos elu. That's made the order of the kiyos for on these brachos. Amnam inen kazeh who rak l'rabim. It's only for the masses. The sulsag rabim kodam ol. Since the merit of the masses is very great, so the fact that they're blowing shofar on the brachos is not in any way, shape, or form a detrimental. The lo will not be individual because it's more din, arouses din, and the individual doesn't want to arouse din on himself. That's why the Yachid does not blow on according to the order of the brachos. Base, because of a rif, for Rambam, Pergim, Kachu, state of Kiyoshal brachos. This is where the Rambam and Rif and Rambam, at the order. Malchus is talking Tashrat. You do only 4 calls. Malchus, Tashrat, Uzuchunas Tashat, Umishofras Tarat. Chenkus what Taisus Marosham. They also write, this is the minig of the ancients. The Talmud said, "At the Echishanu was a trua mimalchis u'zichron shofros." It was founded at changing the trua from one end of the bracha to the other. Rif Kosab Zelashim. Rif wrote as follows: "The dinu should talking out say the brachos, commotion talking yeshiva." Really, I say according to other brachos, we should blow the same amount of kodesh like we blew one, but before Shemona Esrei, the kids to Musha. But since we already fulfilled our obligation, we don't cause the tzibor that much difficulty. And that is the minute in the entire world and in the 2 yeshivas. End quote. Gimel. Mi Rabbeinu Tam Tiken Shitiku b'chol echad tashrat. The Tam said each and every one they should blow tashrat. Lavish. Shinu kol kach mikfi mashia kodim, and that now it's not such a great change from what was previously. There's no, it's not sufficiently onerous to be called a tir, causing the tzibur additional anguish, pain. Well, they're not right words. Hard work. The He says, right, so for Machas they blew 3 times Tashrat, the Zichrono Shosh B'im Tashat, the Zichrono 3 times Tashat, the Shofar Shosh B'im Tarat. Ayin Sham. Zamirig Meshunav Azar. Okay. It's a strange and foreign custom. Name is a Tam. Name of Tam. It kind of doesn't mince words here. It doesn't have logic. Sibra Learning's Cloud in the Beis Yosef's magnum opus. This on the tour does not measure off. And Yerushesh Bakana is a toast Bapus. Seems there must be a mistake here in the printing. But Kavana Tashrat Tashat Tarat Lamalchis. It means like we do. Tashrat Tashat Tarat Malchis. Chen Zichronos Sot Zichronos Chen Shofros. Moshe Anasim Gamayom Brom comes like most people do today. Rabbeinu Ramakas Avkakas Rabbeinu Tam. The Ramah writes like Rabbeinu Tam. Amnam Achshav he Gubroma comes he called Tashrat Tashat Tarat Malchis. Now the custom is not to do the identical tashrat, tarat for all 3, and we don't. That's the primary halacha. Why did the ancients blow tashrat for malchus, tashrat for zichronos, and tarat for zichronos? It can't because we're causing an undue toil for the community. We're going to spend just a few seconds. The common Amarchim Mishaberach Mishari for him. And we then much longer on Mishaberachs and other things. Chen Yir and Yisrael the Fimash Kasa Rosh Hashem Rav Haigo Mishli Rosh Hashanah. The Minatayra Gam Vashvorim have a Trua. Chen a Trua, the Chen Shvorim Trua B'Yachad. Since they're all considered to be forms of Trua, both the Trua itself and the Shvorim Trua. El Shaviyavo and Yish Koisla Yisub Shaveh. But Rabbi Abo made a custom that everybody should do the same thing. And it's not that is really a suffix because it's a takona. It's no longer a suffix. It's takona to do all 3. Karmonenu, therefore, the ancients decided Tashrat the Malchius, with Tashat Lizronas Tarat L'Shofars Kulam Ikradin. You did all these 3, each one separately, stand alone, to show that all of them are Ikradin. So if you did Tashrat, Tashat, Tarat each time, like we do, then it still indicates it's a suffix. So we suffix, we blew all the types. But if you do 1 per Seder, so then it indicates that you believe all of them are Mikradin. They actually ask you to whatever they do it, they fulfill obligation. And we find several times that when even when there's a better way to do it, they did it a certain way, in order to demonstrate the halacha. Hey, we already wrote that an individual does not blow according to the order of brachas. Even if he doesn't have to blow himself. That it would be like a little hefsek, but somebody else will blow for him when he finishes the bracha. It's not allowed to do it. Sif Aleph. Because the reason we wrote at the end of Sif Aleph that yeah, that's Chusarayim is Gadol and not be Yachid. That's he wrote. El Stokeh Batzmo Acher Tokeh Lo Kodem She's Muslim. He blew himself or somebody else blows him before he becomes Muslim. Answer the question, he doesn't have to blow again. Shabbos says if he doesn't have something to blow for him before tefillah, you can hear them after his tefillah. No gushachar at kiyas machos u'mimatzibur yom haras olam. Parashas was saying we have the custom say yom haras olam, and Parashas was saying after blowing gam Shabbos yom haras olam, Shabbos lo say yom haras olam, acharesh is lo yom rubi Shabbos. Don't say resh and Shabbos. Echlim al kol kiyas sayim. How to say Kosh Baruch Hu should listen to our kiyos? Right? I'm not talking about Shabbos. If I ain't talking about Shabbos, if we're not blowing on Shabbos. Just like we say after the malchias. Hayom areshes keg mochen achar zichronos v'ashur so too after the other sections of Shemona Esrei. This is what Yom HaRasalam means. The other mission was created on Rosh Hashanah. The Chaf Hey, Be'elu Haisas Chol Sabriya, in the Chaf Hey El was the beginning of the creation, but Nivra B'Yom HaShishi, marriage came Friday, and thus the pregnancy of the world was ended. Shadam Utachlis Abriya, man is the ultimate purpose of the Briya. The Mishnah Berurah says, even according to that which we hold in Nisan Nivrolam, what was actually created in Nisan, that's why Birkas Achama Nisan. Nevertheless, in Tishrei Hashem thought to create it. It wasn't created till Nisan. So I always thought, still think, that Yom HaRas Olam is today is the conception of the world. It was Nivra B'Machshava, it was conceived on the Rosh Hashanah, and then it was executed on this during Nisan. But he's not learning that way. He's learning that the Harayon was the Sheish Meibrei, the Shivas Meibrei, Sheish Meibrei is the Harayon, and then the world was born. And what I'm saying is that the conception in Tishrei was the Harayon, and then the birth was on was in Nisan. That same day, it was judgment that day. That's Hashem brings in judgment all creatures on this day. Hashem said to Adam, you are a sign for our children. Just like you stood before me in judgment on this day, and you came out with mercy. Shalom meis b'osayom. He didn't die that day. He extended his sojourn on earth until the completion of the day of a Kodesh Baruch Hu, approximately 1,000 years. So your children will stand before me in judgment on this day. And we say that if we stand on you like children, or we stand before you like slaves. The B'Kedusha Tzvila Rabbi Yehuda Mizman Shanu Noagim Minag Banim. When we conduct ourselves like children, Klamar Shosim and Son Rabbi Yishba when we do the will of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Anu Kurim Banim. We're called the children of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. If he love, and if not, Kurim Avanim. We're called the slaves of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Zanu Mischane Ki En Ach Yodim Matzamenu. So we supplicate because we don't know our state at the moment. Zamim Shebenkach Benkach. We say therefore, regardless, Trachem Aleinu, have mercy on us. Zayin, because of Rambam, the Zesh Yeshiva Yitka, I'll say their brachas Ayin Sham. The same person was about Dokea for before Shemona Esrei should now be about Dokea for Chazar Seshatz. It doesn't mean it's necessarily so. And but it's appropriate. They came she's a mitzvah. Says why should you push him aside from finishing the mitzvah? It's not an impediment. Somebody else can blow. Therefore, in a place where the minig is to be mechabed or to honor all the people can blow. One should blow when they're sitting, and one should blow enforcement essay, and one should blow during Musaf. It's not a matter of concern. After all, Korban Tomid, there are many Kohanim involved. You can honor several people who are Balit Kia in this fashion. One should blow for Malchus, Zikronos, and Zikronos, Bezel Shofros, and the third for Shofros. In the middle of a set, I should give it to somebody else. It's insulting for the first guy. Therefore, in the case before, when I say one person should blow all 30, he must go shall have ligmar, and it's difficult for him to come finish. Must have a siman tough kuf behei, like he says in tough kuf behei, ayin shah. Now, since there's only normally we would stop here, but since there's only one sif left in the siman, let's finish the siman. It's preferable not to interrupt with any type of to talk, which doesn't have to do with the tkiya, with the blowing, or with the tefillos, between the tefillos before Shemona Esrei, tefillos during Shemona Esrei, whether it's the tkiya should not interrupt and the tzibur should not interrupt. Mishnah Berurah says at the time of the tefillos themselves, of course it's also to speak, and even to spit is also, because you have to hear each tkiya from beginning to end, even if it's very long. It's certainly also to burp or to clear your throat, which also confuses others. But if you did interrupt, you don't have to go back and make a bracha again. Mishnah Berurah though says that those some Achronim would say that if you spoke in Tashrat, between Shva and Shua, even if it's something which has to do with Kia, even though you don't have to make another bracha, you're not Yotze. Because that Trua is not true, since we know that Trua obviously is one Chefza, even though it's Shva and Shua, so can't divide it. So the also say you have to go back and blow it again. But in any event, says or Kedidis or Shulchan blow dami, l'sach ben tefillin shechaz. It's not like somebody who talked between putting on one tefillin and another tefillah, putting on a tefillin, goes back and makes a bracha. Even according to the Pinhot, so they make one bracha on tefillin normally. You make the second one here. The shnei mitzvahs, those are two mitzvahs. Mitzvah here, it's one mitzvah. Anyway, you're ready to say the kiyus of Torah. But according to the first reason, that it's one mitzvah, even if you talk in the middle of the kiyus before Musaf, you don't go back. So it's the second reason, which is that you already yotze the kiyus of Torah. That doesn't apply if you interrupt in the middle of the kiyus of Torah. Misach ben bracha l'tkiya, if you converse between the bracha and the tkiya, show me that tkiya was something which doesn't have to do with the tkiyas, chazan baruch make a bracha over again. If may inyan at tkiya, even if it has to do with the tkiyas, and mafsik, it's preferable not being mafsik between the bracha and the tkiyas. Ellen kemuchal is unless you're compelled to do so. Kolitain lo shofar, such as to say, give me the shofar. Chayetz anything similar. Imsach midavar acher, afim yad tefillah. You talk about something else, even which has to do with tefillah. So Varech, you have to go back and make a second bracha. Okay, so when you talk between the bracha and the tkiyas, then it's a shayach with tkiyas because it's not relevant to the tkiyas. Rak ben tkiyas yimush tkiyas amumad, just between tkiyas of the Forshman Esrei and the ones Ashman Esrei, love and Yonit Tefillah Helsik matters of davening are not a hefsek. So it means that Yonit Tefillah doesn't mean matters of concerning davening. It means davening itself. The Shamain Hefsik is Sugamor. So between the bracha and the kiyas before davening, before Musaf, it is a hefsek. And it's a problem. You have to make the bracha again. But if it's after, it's between the kiyas before Musaf and the kiyas of Musaf, it's not really a true issa. So therefore, you don't have to go back if it's a davening issue we spoke about. Shaking bein bracha lebracha. Well, in any way, don't go back. Hashem ben bracha as opposed to between the bracha and the tkiya. She brings down that the Varach holds that from the bracha until the end of all the tkiyas of New Shav, in other words, so the first 30 calls before Shemar say now at the mafsik even with tfilos. That's why you're not supposed to say the Yiratzon, which is in the Machzorim, between the tkiyos, or you should only contemplate it in your heart and not express it. Or so the Yiratzon after all the tkiyos are over. Says also Lizvados bein tzvasav, by between the tkiyos. Lizvados bein tzvasav means to be mizvados silently. There's not allowed to talk between the tkiyos at that point. Because the Echid ben Tokel Shomei is limited between the person who's blowing and the person who's hearing. Brackets Ayin Rana Mor Shetomal Israel say ben tkiyos imushal lumumad. They're astounded why there should be an issue of hefsek between the tkiyos before Shemay Esrei and kids of Shemay Esrei came Shagonim Harukain, since the Gonim Paskaway Ain Lavor Al Divreim. You should not violate their words.